Okay, so talking about things I need to get out of the shop. A couple of the things that were in here as winter projects is my bush trimmer. This little guy is pretty neat. I got him from a friend for a pretty low price. It's been worth it. I've had it for about 6 years now. Still runs really well. It needed a little bit of love this winter, and I worked on it for about 2 or 3 hours and got it running perfectly. Overall, very happy with that machine. This guy is the edger I just got running. It needed some carburetor love, and what's going to have to happen is I need to replace the gasket on the bottom of the carburetor. The carburetor style on these, the carburetor is built on top of the fuel tank, and I like that style because they're pretty much bulletproof. Aside from one gasket, there's not much moving parts, and it's very hard to flood it. You can prime it until your heart bleeds, and you're not going to have any problem with it. You're still going to be able to crank it up because the fuel doesn't go directly into the piston. I always thought it did, but I've been in, 20 of these things since I first started taking motors apart, and no, it doesn't. It stops short and fills a little chamber underneath of the carburetor and then drains into the fuel tank. But anyways, that's neat. And it'll now go behind the shop where it belongs. So I've got a few more things I need to get out of the shop. There's a TV in here that I need to fix and get out of here. I'm done with it. I need about a $50 part for it, and just haven't put it on the... It's not been high up on a to-do list. So that big flat screen there, it's a smart TV. It needs a new power board. The board, this one right here, is putting out about 2 volts. And I can't find anything wrong. So I don't know why it's doing that. So my options are to go buy a new TV or to fix this one. Well, this is $43. Buy a brand new one, about less than $50. So guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna fix it. Next, I got this Hobart welder. I ordered a new rectifier assembly. The cheapest I could find was $75. More than I wanted to spend, but it's okay. It's a factory part. The problem is even though only 2 of the 4 diodes are shot, you see the link there is busted on these 2. That one's on its way out. You could tell that it's getting hot, and there is now a crack in the link, and the diodes test bad. So it's on its way out. So I need to replace the whole board. This is a shitty design. I can't sugarcoat it. The load is shared between those 4 diodes. So if one goes bad, then all the other ones have to work harder. And they seem a little anemic. They feel like they should be a little heavier. Don't like that fan design either, but that's another story. Oh, there was a clever bit of design that I thought was pretty cool, and that's this handle. So pulling the handle off, you can see there's this little squared off piece here. When you lift the handle, this piece, which is rubber, doesn't seem to be any springs or anything built into it, it's just rubber, twists and loads. And so when you release it, it returns back to its original position. If you look at the casing here, there's a nice little squared off bit that it fits in there so that the handle folds flush. Pretty cool. So I thought that was a clever bit of design. I realized that my enthusiasm for design may not be shared, but guess what? I like it. So, anyways, I gotta get that out of the shop. Those parts will be here in the next week or so, and it can go away, which is fine. I don't mind working on stuff for that particular person, so it'll be okay. Other things I need to get out of here is I need to put the Christmas ornaments away. Oh, but Rich, it's freaking April. Why do you still have Christmas ornaments in the bottom of the shop? Well, if you recall, I did get hurt, and I got behind on a lot of stuff in a month and a half. Several projects that I've put off is I need more light in here. You see that light and that light? That's pretty much it aside from that guy. So everything relies on that swing arm, that jib over there with the lights on it, and my lamps around my equipment here. Now, I love this work area because I just come over here and I hit the switch there, and I've got light everywhere. Light. I've got this lamp, the lamp under here. So I've got plenty of light over here, but that doesn't translate out into the bay. In fact, it's a little dark. Next thing I want to get out of the shop is the stairs. That was a great idea. I really wish that I had had the time to implement it. I don't. I want to move forward with my projects. I want to move forward with a lot more other things. So that's got to go. I'm just going to take it apart and I'm going to turn it into a outfeed table for my table saw. It's going to be a while before I'm able to upgrade that table saw, and as such, I need to make it as good as I can. There's a Christmas tree, by the way. There's the old ceiling fan that was up in the living room. It's a dinosaur. So what else needs to go out? I need to get my John Deere out. My little lawnmower here has been a faithful lawnmower. It still I can still crank it up right where it sits. It still runs really well. I need to get its deck repaired, put it back on it. That's not a big issue. I have the parts. Everything's sitting there. It's ready to go. I just need to do it. Need to put those lights in the attic so that they're stored until I have further use of them. I'm still happy I got a good deal on it. I do use them. There's one right there. There are two right there. So I do use them to put light on situations where I need a lot more light. Need to get my radio arm saw cleared back off. Unfortunately, it's been a dumping ground for a lot of things. It's a big flat surface. This is going to happen in a shop. Big flat surface. Stuff's going to put on there. I dug into the tool fund and bought some more clamps. Yeah. I cleaned their clearance aisle out of clamps because I think they were $12 or $14 for the sets, and they're usually $30 sets. So happy about that. That was a freaking great buy. Need to get my saw area off here. The scroll saws get used a lot. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it, and part of that is because of the coffee roaster project, a lot of which overflowed into this area. I did a lot of testing on my saw table here, and because of that, things that failed got thrown in the floor. I am ashamed. I need to clean up after the Christmas projects. There's a lot of wood scraps laying on the floor that just need to be hauled off, burned, thrown away, doesn't matter. Other than that, oh yeah, there's another thing I want to get out of the shop. I don't know if my boss wants to buy this back because I will have about $70 worth of labor and parts in this device when I'm done. If he wants it back, that's great. That's fine. I have no problem with that. But if not, then I'm going to repair this platen, put some new cork on it. That's another $30 or so. And I might get a graphite platen if it stays in my shop. That'll be much flatter, much smoother, much nicer platen. So if he wants it back, that's great, that's fine. I've been wanting to move the electronics box into the sewing room. The reason being is because the sewing room stays pretty much dust-free, and that's really great. I would love to have a dust-free area for this equipment. My Hakko still cranks right on up, gets nice and hot really fast. Love this thing. If you're in the market for a soldering iron, yeah, this is it. Okay, it's an 888D. That stands for digital. There's only 2 controls on there. Everything performs flawlessly. 2 years later, really happy with that thing. So once I get rid of this will be a 3.5 foot wide, 8 foot long beast out of my way. That means that all that space can be dedicated to the table saw and hopefully the router as well. You can see my scientific router table here. Whenever I need something on the router table done, I just take a piece of wood and clamp it to it and go to work, and it works really well. And the great thing is it takes up very little space. Some other things I want to get out of here or get back, I want to get them taken care of is I want to get my, I got this, this material here. This is called corian. It's a stone material, pretty badass material, and I have the tools to work with it. Problem is it takes up space. Again, that sink needs to go up in the attic, and I need to clean this off and continue my miniature drill press project. I see a lot of promise in this, and I hope that it will come to fruition once I bring the metal lathe in here. The metal lathe, by the way, will probably go in that corner or right there. I have not decided which. There's no more ducks in here. Got them out of the shop. That was a great thing. I do not mind having them in here, so I'm not complaining by any means. I'm just, at one point or another, you get tired of hearing the quacking. It's cute and everything for the first 10 minutes. Then it gets annoying. So next thing is workstations. I would like to build workstations. I would like to build a table on this side of the radial arm saw and this side of the radial arm saw, so there's plenty of space. I want to raise my table saw up to where it feeds onto the radial arm saw. I want to bring my joiner and point it alongside in the front area of that workstation. The reason, and maybe have it inset in. The reason being is because long boards that need jointed, I can't currently do it with my setup because the joiner bed is so small, so short. By the way, that's not rust, that's mahogany dust. The table is so short comparatively that a long board will bow up or bow down, and you won't get a perfectly flat edge, a true edge. So I'm done for the night, though. I did a lot of work tonight getting that running. I spent about an hour out here. That's one more thing out of the shop. That's a 2x4 area that is now clear. So, good night. We'll see you tomorrow, shop. And got my truck sitting here. So that's it for tonight. I think I'm gonna go in and have myself a beer and enjoy the rest of the night. And that was me getting a picture taken of me. So yeah, there's another one in the shop that takes pictures, but it's not as obvious. That's pretty obvious. Actually, you can't see that. That's IR. There he goes, an IR flash. So I can't see that with my naked eye, but it has a little, kind of like a little red tint, so you notice it. So, heading back to the house. Good night. Thanks for listening to me babble.